Binding Bell. I was hooked right from the beginning. I was indeed bound to this piece. I was captured by that eerie atmosphere created, that the soundscape was excellent. The howling wind, the tinkling of the chimes, which felt very classic to the genre. I immediately knew where I was, and I was affected by it without it seeming too tongue in cheek. I think the black and white shadowy environment, the slow pacing, left for really open space for that menace and that anticipation to grow and fester, which kept me hooked. I loved the acting because it really held that mystery and that unease with the slightly heightened performance that still felt very honestly affected by the intensity of the storyline. Something about it had a very like David Lynch feeling to me, almost like Twin Peaks kind of vibes, which is the ultimate compliment for me. In just committing to a genre and committing to um, this tone that is heightened and allowing the audience to have this experience because it is so grounded in what felt truthful.
Binding Bell, this was haunting. This was really, really like intense. I loved that they chose black and white. I thought it just kind of elevated everything to the next kind of level. It kind of just amped up the drama and it amped up the not urgency, but it just kind of raised the stakes a little bit, I thought, by having everything in black and white. So you weren't, I think some of the times when you watch like any film in color, TV in color, or anything like that, sometimes as humans we can get distracted by colors, especially if there's like a red and everything else is a more like natural tone or something like that. So I think by having everything be in black and white, you kind of stripped all of that away and you really just were forced to focus on the situation in the moment. And then they used silence and like they slowed the pace so well. It, like I said, it was really haunting and it was really intense and you just felt kind of like equal parts confused, but like in a way that I'm pretty sure you were meant to feel, because trying to figure out like what happened to her before she says your class, like what their relationship is, like how, like what is she doing there, like why hasn't he called anybody yet, like all of these different things that, like I said, I think the black and white, the use of silence, I thought it was all really done well. I was definitely hooked. I was in it. I was obviously very, very curious how they were gonna like navigate through this. And you just got like all of these like really great little like moments where her like back is to him, like looking at pictures or looking at other things, and it's just kind of off-putting, but I think it's supposed to be. Anyway, I think it worked really well.
All right, I just finished watching The Binding Bell, which I thought was quite well done. I felt like stylistically and emotionally it worked very well in sort of papering over sort of the lack of plot clarity that you might not be able to pull from the folklore itself. But I thought sort of the energy of the film really created a sort of a sinister and a foreboding sense that really carried it from the start, from the missing picture dynamic right to the opening of the door. And I thought both actors had a really great approach to the piece. I thought the male actor was really great in sort of in quiet moments and sort of his disposition, transposed with the lead female actress, who I thought was quite striking in her monologue in particular when she's reflecting the folklore. And I think there's a sort of a sonic, a sound design sequence where there's the wind is actually playing while she's still in the house, which I thought really contributed to a sort of blending of reality and a sense of time that really contributed to an overall mood that really matched like a horror folklore, a scary story that is so common within this particular construct. So I thought it was very well done in terms of cinematography and acting, and I thought that the use of sound really did help create a sense of mood that really carried, even when the plot wasn't entirely clear, especially when you get towards the ending. But I thought that it worked on an emotive level and a sort of ethereal, spiritual level that allowed for the piece to be effective despite that. So I ended up enjoying it overall.
I really, really like this one. This is one of my favorite ones that I've seen at this festival so far, really. I love the title, The Binding Bell. I just love the mysterious tone of this and the ambiguity of it. The quiet intention of the actors and the pacing of it and the sound design, really bringing such mood and atmosphere to it, and the ambiguous ending. It was really, really beautiful. I'm not 100% sure what happened, but, it's got me thinking. So I like that. This is a nice piece of art here. The actors did a really nice job. Really, really liked their performances. Really like the writing here a lot. I love her monologue in the middle there. Like I said, the sound design was beautiful. That was the musical soundtrack to it. It was, the bells in the wind. But really, really, really nice job here. I like this a lot of mood, a lot of feeling in this piece. So congrats on this. And I hope this gets out there and gets seen and does well for you.
The Binding Bell. I'm not sure if this is actually a real folklore. I meant to look that up, but I'm going to. The opening shot with the missing persons poster, beautiful, because it drew me in right away. Like, ooh, this is going to be a whodunit or something, or where is this person? It's going to be a detective sort of thing, and I love those. This really caught my attention. So I love that there was a lot of silence. It really did wonders for setting the tone, and just especially where, in the apartment where the door creaks open and it's been silent for a while, and just having the wind and the chimes, so well done. And having her just walk in and sit down was like, what the heck? Very good acting, very good casting on this. Candles also set the tone. I didn't fully understand. I was like, what's the payoff going to be here? I'm not really sure. And then the whole folklore thing, I was like, okay, so did she really go into the woods, or was this something in her imagination? And then she puts the bell, at least I think that was the old slave bell from the folklore. She puts it on the table. And so I was like, okay, so she's the only one that made it in and out. I don't know. I kind of wanted to understand it a little bit more as far as what it meant, because I have an analytical mind, but I think it was just well done. So well done. It didn't really bother me that I wasn't 100% sure what it all meant. I just thought it was really cool, and you guys are going to do great. So great job to everybody involved.
Another black and white piece. This has crime, fantasy, a slight mystery, setting the tone to the overall piece. We start this short with a close-up of a missing girl flyer, and she shows up at her professor, psychologist's office, and they've been looking for her for 2 weeks, and she looks more put together than in distress, and it makes you start to wonder if he is in fact looking in the face of a ghost. There's this off-kilter feeling that something is not quite right. She is not in a rush to contact her family, even though it sounds like they're brushing through the forest as they have this conversation. And as she faces the wall of paintings, which are delightfully beautiful, by the way, the production designer's shining wall is this piece, and in my opinion, when the camera flashes, it cuts to an extreme close-up of a pile of leaves, and it leaves the audience to presume that her body may lie beneath them. And as everyone is out looking for her, he's the only one at home, and it's quite possible his nerves have driven him mad. The bell possibly being this trophy, being the very thing that binds them together. The piece is, after all, called The Binding Bell, and this bell may be binding them together to have this moment in time.
None of this, of course, is explicitly stated. These are all merely theories of how I gathered the pieces throughout the piece.